Hey everyone, DarkDragoon here with Season 2, Episode 2 of my FTB Modpack Let's Play. Thanks for joining us again here on this second episode of my new season. I pretty much haven't really done too much since last episode. Just went and did a little bit of mining, and you'll probably notice we're having some horrific inventory issues. And I feel like a large part of the problem is cobblestone. So what we're going to do is we're going to fix that little issue with a little factorization help. I'm trying to remember if we had any. We do not have any wood planks, so I'll have to make some of those. So first things first, we're going to make some of these wooden slabs. And we're going to put one in the middle, surround it with some wood logs, and we're going to make a barrel from factorization. Now these are really nice. They can hold a whole bunch of a certain type of item. So if we're going to pretty much store our cobblestone in here for now. And actually there's a trick to it. If you just double right click, it'll put all of the type of item that you're trying to put in from your inventory into the barrel. So now we can just pull all our cobblestone out and get it put away where it's nice. And you can see it's holding 10 stacks of 64 plus 15. And the trick to those is they can hold up to 64 stacks of 64. So they're not unlimited, but they are definitely nice for holding a lot of one particular item. They cannot hold more than one type of item. So we might end up making another barrel for, say, like dirt. Probably useful. Generally barrels, I try to only use them for your random things like dirt and gravel and sand, but as we get further along in the series we might end up using it for more. But mostly just want to get my inventory cleared out here, as like I said, we did get quite a bit of nice goodies. We might need another chest. Yeah, I'm thinking what we're gonna do is we're gonna make ourselves another chest to store probably, I'd say maybe our ores in. I'm not quite ready to move on to some iron chests, mostly because before I start using a lot of my iron ore just to cook it, I want to kind of get to the point where we can duplicate our ore processing a little bit. And like I said last episode, I'm thinking we're going to use maybe thermal expansion for that, as I think that could be a good thing to use. Pretty much I'm just throwing in some of my raw materials. Trying to decide what all I want to put in there. Maybe coal. We'll leave our sort of gemmy type stuff in here. We'll also take our nickelite and our redstone. I think that'll do. So we'll just get this stuff thrown in here for now. Definitely have more chests later on to hold various things, but for right now I think we're good just having the two chests to accommodate our sort of starting resources here. And you can see we've managed to get a hold of a fair amount, so I almost forgot to put the coal in there. So let's see. I definitely don't want to be living in here forever, but I figure for the time being we can definitely, I'm actually thinking maybe I wanted to dig this way. Yeah, let's, well, no, let's just, gonna need a new pickaxe because we're gonna do some more digging. So why don't we go ahead and make ourselves a gem pickaxe. Like I said, these are pretty good. They mine just as quickly as diamond, but they don't last nearly as long. And they're easy to make. It's just a pickaxe, just with gems. And you can see it chews through stone pretty quickly. So I'm just going to dig myself out a little area to work in where we can sort of get a small processing room going with some machines, and as soon as I've got an area that I'm happy with, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back, and you guys can see I've finished digging out my room here a little bit, and wanted to also show you, I believe this is copper. It should be at least. So let's just dig that out of the wall here. Okay, should be all set. I'll just, whoop, that was not the stuff I wanted to actually put up there. It was cobblestone that I wanted. Alright, so you might notice, obviously, I'm using a new texture pack. This is actually, this is in the FTB launcher. It is the Soartex Fanver texture pack, put together by Soren for use with the Direwolf pack, among some of the other packs in the FTB launcher. So, I don't know. I'm a fan of texture packs, and this one looks pretty good, and it covers a fair amount of the mods involved. I'm assuming that he'll probably update it to include some more in the future, but I guess we'll just have to see. So if you like the texture pack, you can definitely get it the same way I got it, through the FTB launcher. And if you don't worry about it. I just thought it looked cool, and it does some very neat things with the bricks. I normally don't really like the cobblestone texture, but in this, it actually doesn't look too bad. So that said, I wanted to go ahead and get started as quickly as I could with some of our ore multiplication system. So to do that, we're definitely going to need to get a good number of thermal expansion machines, and we're going to need some kind of buildcraft power. So why don't we, first things first, take a look at what our sort of buildcraft power options are. Here they are. They're pretty much the engines. We got redstone engines, which we're not going to worry about because they're not going to generate enough power for us. The Stirling engines are okay. They run off coal, and they produce a little bit of power. They're not very efficient though. We don't really have our bluetricity stuff set up yet, so that's not really going to help us, and we don't really have any sort of forestry stuff to help us. So I'm thinking either using some of these thermal expansion engines, such as the steam engine, or using one of the railcraft engines, probably the hobbyist steam engine. I think the only problem we have doing that is I'm not sure we have much gold, and if I recall, this calls for quite a bit. So let me just think really quick here. Yeah, I think we're gonna maybe be okay. It's gonna be close, but it's probably gonna require all this gold. So why don't we just go ahead and get that cooking while we deal with some other stuff. So to get this system started, like I said, we're definitely going to need some kind of engines, which will probably go with the hobbyist steam engine. They run off coal, but coal and water basically, and they're fairly efficient, so I think they're going to be good for sort of what we want to do. It means we're going to have to go hunting for some glass, but there's a desert nearby, and we're going to also need to find a way to get water to it, and I'm thinking the aqueous accumulator from thermal expansion to do that. So as you can see, we're going to need a bit of gold for our machine frame and some iron, glass, like I said, good amount of iron, and some tin. Let's take a look and see if we found any tin. I don't know if we have actually. Okay, that's a little bit of a problem. So I believe we can find tin at about Y35-ish. So, okay, so why don't, is it almost day? Looks like it's daytime. Let's grab our shovel, head over to the desert. We'll go ahead and get some sand, get that going into glass, and then what I'll do is I'll hop down, see if I can't find some tin, and when I come back, we'll start throwing together some of our thermal expansion machines. So I'll be back. Alright, I am back. I did a little bit more mining, as you can see. Got myself a fair amount of tin. I think I have enough to start with, and I've got a little more iron cooking just in case we need it. So Like I said, first things first, we're going to work on putting together our aqueous accumulator. So to do that, we're going to need a couple things. We're going to need a little bit of redstone, which I believe I have in here. I think I have everything for this now. Let's take a look. Iron, redstone, glass, and then iron, golden glass. Yeah, okay. So, first things first. Got our little pneumatic thingamajig that goes into our aqueous accumulator. And then we're going to need our machine frame, which is just iron on the corners, gold in the middle, glass on the sides. There we go. Going to need our bucket and just a couple pieces of glass. So aqueous accumulator should look something like this. Tin on the sides. Cool. Let's see here. Ooh, we got level 30. We're gonna need to get ourselves some of these golden transport pipes because we're gonna need, well, we're gonna need it for a couple things. So I think that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and turn 4 of these into golden conductive pipes because we're gonna use those to transport our buildcraft power. Right now it is night, so I don't want to run out there to go find some cactus. I meant to go pick some up when I was out in the desert, but apparently I neglected to do that, so why don't we go ahead. Oh yeah, my pick broke when I was down mining, so let's make another one of those. I don't really want to make another gem pick just for digging around, but I guess I'm going to anyway. So let's go ahead and make that. You've seen me make gem picks before. So this time I went with ruby. So we're just going to dig into the wall here a little bit, and this is where we're going to set up our engines. I think they're going to be something along the lines of in here, and I'm trying to remember exactly how I want to set this thing up, because we're going to set up our aqueous accumulator underground here, and yeah, I think we're going to put it right here. Obviously we're going to need another bucket because we're going to need to get ourselves some water rather. Well, what the heck, we'll make 2 buckets. We'll need lots of buckets later anyway. We're going to sneak outside. I know it's night, but I'm not going to be out here too long. Get back in there. And we're just going to jam our water into the wall here. And the reason for this is by putting water around an aqueous accumulator, it speeds up the rate at which it will pull water into it. So now you can see the aqueous accumulator is pulling water into it, and it's going to be our basically our infinite water source for our various engines that are going to be buried in the wall here. Now the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm kind of thinking maybe I wanted to put this one back. So no big deal, we'll just pick up our water source blocks again. Come on. Kind of difficult to pick up with the pick. I think you're supposed to use the a word failure, a wrench to pick up a lot of the thermal expansion stuff, but can't be perfect, right? So, okay, so we got our aqueous accumulator set up. That is not what I intended to do at all. Ate our water source block. I'm going to grab another one. Hopefully I can get it without getting killed by a skeleton. That would be preferable. There we go. Okay, nothing came in after me. I'm just going to dig into the wall a little bit more here. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to set up some engines here along the wall, and then our aqueous accumulator is going to pump water straight into them. So I think we're going to dig this part out because we're going to have our power pipes going down into the ground here. So hopefully you guys can sort of see what we're sort of doing here. Let's see, we're gonna need, where are you, wood? There's a little bit of wood. Let's get some planks. So we're gonna make some of these wooden transport pipes. And I'm gonna need, might as well just make half a stack of those into the conductive version. So basically what's gonna happen is once we get our engines made, our conductive pipes are gonna go like so, and then down into the ground. And you can see we're definitely gonna need more conductive pipes, but and then we're going to make, as soon as it's daytime, which I could just sleep through the night, I suppose. But, yes, I meant to do this on camera, and I had forgotten. Let's go ahead and make ourselves a bed. Because remember, last episode I went out and got some sheep farmed up, so we can make ourselves a bed. We'll just slap that down there. Sleep through the night real quick, and then we're gonna go cactus hunting. Oh, somehow that skeleton managed to survive by swimming through the night. Oh man, these skeletons are being really smart today. Let's just try to avoid everything. We'll duck and weave. Hey, there's a zombie with some armor on. Golden armor, in fact. Kind of wish if they were wearing armor, they more regularly dropped it when you killed them. Not that golden armor is really good for anything, but it looks nice, I guess. So let's just run over the desert here. I meant, like I said, I meant to grab the cactus while I was over here farming up sand, but got a little distracted by my shovel breaking, I think. Ooh, a little bit of a graphical glitch. Hopefully it'll clear itself here in a second. There we go. Alright. Like I was saying last episode, I kind of think I lucked out a little bit on this desert biome being so close. I'm used to that not being the case. I'm used to having to either search all over the place for a desert or just having to make one in a Mistcraft age, which I will be making Mistcraft ages, and I will probably be cheating myself in a notebook so I can just make worlds and not waste a bunch of time trying to get all the symbols, because particularly with extra biomes there's a lot of symbols, and I'd rather make cool worlds to show you guys and not have to clog up the machine with all sorts of stuff. Now, I'm actually not sure. These might just be orange flowers. Buttercups. It's interesting. It's another weird graphical glitch. I don't know what's going on with that. Or why it is doing that. I wonder if it's something to do with the texture pack, maybe? I'm not sure. I figure 19 cactus is good enough for now. What I'll probably do a little bit later is go farm up a bit, and then I'll make a little bit of a cactus farm a little closer so we don't have to run across everything to find cactus. Maybe I can run. Here we go. Got plenty of food walking around out here, so it's not like I really need to worry about that. Trees are kind of taking a little while to grow. Some of these trees are growing ridiculously tall. Not going to complain. It's with Tree Capitator. They're just as easy to knock down as anything else. So, back home, we're going to toss our cactus into there to cook, because we're going to use it to make some pipes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn these into conductive pipes, and then I'm going to make another set of them for use to make into, I'm going to wait until a couple of these are cooked up. In the meantime, why don't we take a look at our hobbyist steam engines. You can see they're well, not too complicated. They just need a little bit of gold, golden nuggets to be exact. Now I think I'm going to make 3 of these, so we're going to need, what, let's see, 4 per, which means we need 6 gears, so that's 18 nuggets. I think that sounds right. And then we're going to need another 3 nuggets, so 27 nuggets, something along those lines. Should be enough, hopefully. Obviously using quite a bit of gold, but that is okay. We should have enough cactus green. We're just going to toss that into here to make pipe waterproofing. And, come on, 1 more. There we go. So, should have enough waterproof pipes. Now, let's get to crafting up our gears. Gonna need, I don't think we have enough cobblestone, so we're just gonna whack our barrel and get ourselves the cobblestone we need. There we go. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna need a lot more gold than that. We're gonna need, that should do it. So let's see. We're also gonna need, we have plenty of iron, we've got our cobble, we need our wood. Where are you? Just gonna make ourselves, that should do. And we're gonna need to make 3 pistons, and there's the recipe for pistons. Fairly common vanilla recipe that you're gonna see me make a lot of, and probably have seen me make a lot of. So we're gonna need 3 of those total. Let's see. There we go. And I think we've got everything, so let's put these together. There we go. Hobbyist steam engines. 3 of those. Cool. So we've got our steam engines, we've got our waterproof pipes. So I'm basically just going to put the waterproof pipes here. You can already see the aqueous accumulator will already start to dump the water out. And then we're just going to slap our steam engines right against the wall there, and you can see they fill with water. Now I'm going to actually let these sort of fill with water for a minute while I think about sort of how we're going to get some redstone signals to these. I think what I'll do, at least for the time being, is I'll just knock this off and we'll just use levers. But what I can do, I did manage to get a little bit of clay while I was out a little bit ago. And so what I think I'll do is I'll get myself a little bit of red power stuff started as well before this episode is over. Let's just make sure that this will work. We're going to need to get ourselves, let's just start with that much coal. So these run pretty slowly. They don't eat too much coal up. And I think since it's starting to burn, that should mean you'll see in about a second they should turn on. Now I'm not going to leave them on because right now the power doesn't have anywhere to go. But I mostly just want to make sure that the engines are working. You can see they're heating up. And as soon as they get to 100, they'll start producing steam and pumping. Cool. So that's the basic gist of that. And now we're going to dig under the floor here a little bit. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Well, it is what I meant to do, but I didn't actually want to make the water spill all over the place. So there we go. And we're still going to probably need a couple more of these golden conductive pipes, but the point is we're going to run these pipes along the wall here, and then our machines can be right up against the wall. So cover up here, and you can see we're going to run piping through the floor there, and then when the machines sit on top, it'll cover everything up. So that done, I'm thinking we don't quite have enough gold because I know I need for our pulverizer. which is our first machine we're going to make, we're going to need 2 pieces of gold for that. And then we're going to need a little bit of copper. So I think what I'm going to do is, it doesn't look very nice right now, but in the interest of trying to spill water everywhere, what I'll do is I'll adjust the way I'm working this for now. I think the pipes will hold back the water. Yes, they will. I think what we'll do is we'll run it so it looks kind of ugly for now, and then when we get a little bit more gold we can fix it pretty casually. I'm just going to leave the floor sort of dug up like that, that way it's a little easier to work with down the line. But either way, it'll still work for us just fine. So yeah, so why don't I go ahead and why don't we get this pulverizer made. To do that, we're going to need a little bit of copper, which we have a bit of that. I think we're just going to need 1, so I'm going to get that cooking up while I go over the recipe here. We're going to need 2 copper rather. Let's get that going. And we're going to need some flint, which we should have a little bit of, and we're going to need another machine frame. So you can see, I think we have flint. There we go. I knew we had a little bit. And so let's get another piston made. You guys know that recipe fairly well, hopefully by now. Piston, cool. And then we're going to need another machine frame, which you saw me make earlier. I think we're going to have just enough iron to do this. There we go. And then we're going to need to make one of these redstone reception coils. So that should be everything we need for the pulverizer. Now this is the machine that's going to basically duplicate our ores for us. They're going to grind up our ores into dust that we can cook up to duplicate our ores. Basically, for every ore that we grind, we're going to get 2 dust, and each dust is going to become a single bar. So by doing this, we've already doubled our ore output. And we don't quite have enough resources, particularly gold, to get the next piece of this, which would be the powered furnace. But there's the recipe for that. You can see we're going to definitely need some bricks for that. So mostly I wanted to just get this set up so that we can run our engines. I'll probably just have maybe 1. You can see the buffer start to fill as it starts to go. I don't necessarily need more than that running at the moment. As we get more machines set up along this line, we'll definitely need all of these to power it, and eventually they're just not really going to be enough to handle it. But yeah, generally speaking, we've got our thermal expansion stuff is going pretty good. So, and I'm sure we're probably getting close to the wrapping up point of this episode, but before we do, I want to go ahead and cook up this clay and get ourselves a red power alloy furnace going, so that we can actually get started on some cool redstone wiring, which is very, very useful. I think what I'm going to do is just to speed this up a little bit. Oh wow, I didn't realize these had steam sitting in their buffers. You can see as they start to go, should be producing a little bit of power for us. They're pumping away. I can show you really quick how this works. Let's go ahead and throw our copper in there. And we're going to be able to adjust where our input and output slots on this are. You can see the blue is the input, and I'm actually going to go ahead and change that to the top because I'm going to shut off the left side of the machine, because what we're going to do is probably put a hopper on top of here so that it can automatically just feed. We can just dump our ores in and it'll feed our machine. And I think we're going to have this be orange output. That way it will output from both this one and this socket here. Now this socket is for sometimes with the pulverizer, you can see that copper ore is being ground up. Sometimes we'll get another type of dust out of whatever is in here. It's a pretty small, rare chance, but it definitely is possible. So when we put our powered furnace here, it should be set up to automatically move our dust from our pulverizer into our furnace to be cooked up into some actual bars. So that's set up. Let's go ahead and take a look at our furnace here. Don't know if we're going to have enough clay. I don't think we do, because we need 8 of these. Yeah. Let me sleep through the night real quick, and then I'm going to run out and get a little more clay, and then we'll call it. Alright, I am back, and you guys can see I've got myself a good amount of bricks here. Easy to make. They're just 4 of these bricks in pattern like so. But we're going to make ourselves an alloy furnace, which is 8 of these brick blocks, like so. Will give us an alloy furnace. Let's just put that right there. And alloyed furnace is pretty easy to use. It just uses coal, just like a regular furnace. Plop it in there. Whoop. Come on. Work with me here. Put coal in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take, let's see, where do we put, well, let's just take a little bit of iron here. Actually, try not to blow up our hard work over here. Let's just grind up some iron real fast. Went ahead and shut off our system there. I probably am going to get working pretty soon on an assembly table to get some logic gates so that we can automatically turn off the system when these machines don't need power, like pretty much now. But let's pull that out of there and pull that out of there. We're just going to get ourselves a single bit of iron so I can show you guys how the alloy furnace works before we call this episode. Starting to get hungry. Come on. There we go. So, pretty simple. You put a piece of iron in with 4 redstone. The alloy furnace will start cooking. And that will give us 1 red alloy ingot. Now, if we take 3 red alloy ingots, so let me get a little more redstone here. Just cook up a couple more of these. If we take 3 of these, we're going to be able to make wiring, and I can show you real quick how that works. So while that's going, I'll go ahead and, so you might know, okay, this is vanilla redstone. It's pretty simple. You can slap it on a block, and then when you apply like a lever or a button signal to it, it'll turn on and it'll turn off, and you can use it to power doors. I mean, that's pretty much what a pressure plate does. It applies a redstone signal, so you can definitely see if we were to put some, you can see it turns on when we step on the little pressure plate here. Now, there's a problem with redstone. It doesn't go up walls. You can see I'm trying to, and it's a little finicky. Like if we were to knock this off, okay, it'll go up like that, but how do you power certain things like that? It can be a little complicated. Now I'm pretty sure the texture of it going around the corner there, that's purely the texture pack. In the base textures, you wouldn't even see that. It would just sort of look, it would point the right direction, so it looks like it's sort of in the direction that it would connect, but not quite. But if we take 3 of these red alloy ingots and put them in a line like this, we get red alloy wiring, which is really cool. You can see it looks basically like a wire. You can run up walls, you can go pretty much every which way with it, where really redstone itself couldn't do that. And so you can do all sorts of nifty stuff with this. And I'm planning on doing all sorts of nifty stuff with it, particularly to get power to these machines with this all being covered up, when we can do it with 1 lever as opposed to 3. So it'll be really cool. We're going to do lots of fun stuff with this as Season 2 progresses. Didn't get a chance to play it all with it since Red Power wasn't out, but now that it is, you're going to see lots of this red power wiring going on in Season 2. So, that seems like a good place to call it for now. Next time, I really want to get this system continued to sort of be expanded, get ourselves a powered furnace, and then pretty much go from there. So yeah, so look forward to that next episode. So until then, this has been episode 2, season 2 of my Feed the Beast Modpack Let's Play. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll catch you guys later.